Okay, so Zaya thoughts. So I don't think I'll do this every week. Maybe. Who knows? But essentially, this is just my thoughts on whatever game or games I stream this week. Kinda like a summarization or a vlog, but not really. I'll most likely talk spoilers, so yeah. Hopefully future videos aren't as long as this one. This is just because I just have so many thoughts on my mind. So for last stream, we did some Curse of Monkey Island and played... Okay, we didn't play Daggerfall, but I'm gonna include it because we played 2 weeks ago instead. And oh my god, that game's so freaking wacky. Okay, I've mentioned this before, but man, I love the art style for Curse. Same with the animations. Well, compared to what other late 90s point and click games there were, at least. I could be wrong. But yeah, going from LeChuck's Revenge to Curse was a wild change. Getting rid of the menu action button thing at the bottom to just a wheel action makes things simpler, but not the puzzles. Oh my god, the puzzles too freaking smooth brain for them still. I definitely talk more about the game once I'm done with it, but basically last week we finally got to set sail with a couple of barbers, and goddamn, Monkey Island never fails to make me laugh with the absolute nonsense it shows, like getting attacked by other pirates while our crew does jack all gazing upon the sea. I mean, to be fair, the sea do be pretty. And then came insult fighting. Oh my god, I love sword fighting in the first game. I thought that coming across pirates to learn insults was such a clever, fun way to fight against the sword master in the first game. So hearing that Curse also had fighting made me so excited. I think that what really surprised me was not only is it insult fighting, but specifically insult fighting with rhymes. And honestly, it ain't too bad compared to the original insult fighting. You fight pirates, learn insults, and use those insults against Rottingham, where we then get the map back and head on over to Blood Island. Oh, wait, I completely forgot to even mention. Earlier Rottingham took our map, and then one of the best moments in the game, well, so far, happens. I won't explain what it is, but it's not even a puzzle. Just remember, nothing rhymes with orange. Just remember that. So we make it to Blood Island. Well, kinda. We crash onto Blood Island, so to speak. And damn, I didn't expect there to be more to this game, to be honest. Like, I expected the island to be the last part of the game. Maybe I'm just used to the other games always ending shortly after the second island. But then again, those were early 90s games with little storage compared to nowadays / when this game came out. So I guess it makes sense that this game probably has so much more content than maybe the last two games combined. Now, I won't go into every puzzle detail, so I'll just focus on moments that really caught me off guard or surprised me to a point. Like, for example, meeting the same cannibals from the first game. I guess the cannibal part wasn't too surprising, but the fact that they mentioned they were the same ones from Monkey Island, yo, that's amazing. Like, and this is the first game to have voice acting, right? So I wonder if that same guy who's voice acting the main, like, cannibal chief dude also voices the same one in the remaster, like 12 or so years later. Unless if he's in other games too, I don't know. But it's amazing, I love it. You know, it really feels like this game likes to take a lot of references and similar puzzles from the first game. I'm all for it. I love the first Monkey Island, and considering this game came out 6 years after LeChuck's Revenge, it's great having small little nods and references for longtime fans, and to even newer fans who'd want to play the original games, considering some people, their first Monkey Island game could be Curse, or it could be the original first two. So we solve a bunch of puzzles to help the bartender get over his hangover with a special remedy, which includes a egg, pepper, and hair from a dog that bit you. And I kid you not, doesn't matter if you get the hair, the dog has to bite you. And discovering how made me feel so smooth brain. Okay, let's be honest. This game makes me feel smooth brain most of the time. Okay, well the whole series does, but that's not the point. The game is tough, or maybe I'm just not smart enough. So we then caused the volcano to erupt, or a lactose intolerant volcano specifically. Then we got to talk to the bartender, who explains that the supposed diamond was sold off to some guy on Skull Island. The rest of the puzzles so far weren't super tough. It's definitely looking / getting certain items that can be confusing. But then again, that's kind of how adventure games usually go. Lost, confused, collect item, still get lost, confused. And then a light bulb goes off in your head like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do with those items? Like, for example, we fixed the lighthouse for the lost ferrymen to arrive. And then finally, we get to use this damn encyclopedia page on how to make a compass. Because I remember constantly looking at this thing thinking, when am I going to use this? Am I ever going to use this? Is this some red herring? So we give the ferryman the compass and he brings us to Skull Island. Or Duck Island? Maybe Skull Island if you squint your eyes. Maybe Rabbit Island if you turn your head. It's a island, that's for sure. And so far, I guess we'll have to see what comes next.
I have never lost a melee!
Hey, if you're still tuning in and interested in more of this, feel free to click that like button and subscribe, or even follow me on Twitch. We'll watch it all live right before your eyes, watching me wander about for hours on end because I didn't click on that one item that I kept hovering over.
Excuse the gloom, but none may know of this meeting.
Daggerfall. The Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. Unity version, to be precise. Okay, well technically we didn't play it this week. I wanted to, but I was thinking of this idea and I don't know if this will work. I don't know if I'll keep doing this. We'll see. But I might as well talk about it because, oh boy, going between two different late-ish 90s games do be pretty wacky to backy. I won't go into detail on the differences between the Unity version and the original and what mods I've installed, but basically the Unity version is an open source recreation of Daggerfall that fixed some bugs, issues, that allows fans to create mods and whatnot. Honestly, I wanted to go into this game as blind as possible, while also knowing what I'm doing. So the first thing I did, read the manual. I mean, why not? So from the start of the game, it seems like we're some loyal friend / acquaintance with the Emperor, because he sends us off on a request to figure out why some letter that he sent to the Queen of Daggerfall never arrived or she didn't receive it. And the letter is supposedly some confidential information, so something, don't let it fall into the wrong hands. And then just tells us to venture off to the Iliac Bay. But before any of that happens, we gotta create our character. And my god, you really do create your character with so much depth. So I wanted to try with a custom class. I guess that's the closest thing to making your own starter build in this game. And instead of using one of the many pre-built classes, which in hindsight I probably should have done when starting out, I figured screw it. If I fail with a build, then I fail with a build. Now when I say the class creation goes in depth, I mean really in depth. To the point you can give your character both good and bad traits. Like, the last game I could think of that had features like that would be probably Project Zomboid or something, I don't know. It's not an RPG, but I can't think of anything else. And depending on the traits you add can affect how fast or slow it takes for you to progress. Plus, reading through the manual to learn what each race is specialized in, what each stats do, every single skill and trait, man, it felt like I was creating some tabletop RPG character, like a whole character sheet. It felt so cool. But technically this is creating a custom class, and not the character, but you're still like finalizing what traits this class would have. Because once you finalize the custom class, then you create your character with those class traits. First by answering questions that determine your certain skills and, I guess, career and life choices thing. I don't know, apparently Morrowind also does it, to then rolling dice to randomize your stats that you then add those skill points towards. What does suck, however, is even though you name your custom class, it doesn't save in the list of pre-built classes. The name does, however, show on the character sheet in the game, which is nice. So if you put like noob, not sure if it was too technical of an option back then, or it just didn't have the time, or maybe it was just too buggy to add in, who knows. But nonetheless, it would have been nice, because boy oh boy does it suck having to recreate the class just because the game crashed or you didn't save as soon as you got in the first dungeon. Speaking of which, welcome to Privateer's Hold, the first dungeon. So after we travel to the Iliac Bay, I guess our ship gets caught in a bad storm. You know, I find it kind of funny how two completely different games, we still crashed onto land from a bad storm. I don't know, it's something funny I thought of, I don't know. Anyway, we managed to survive the storm and find ourselves in a deep dark cavern, dungeon, in a deep dark place, where we soon come across our first deadly foe, the rat. And I ain't kidding, this damn rat hits hard. But to be fair, I tried making some weird DPS type build and oh my god, what is that? Dead. Okay, maybe I should have tried a different build. I remember asking online on tips or things to know about what if I wanted to go in blind and character creating, and this one comment stuck with me saying something like, making mistakes and recreating your character is the fun part. And part of me couldn't tell if they were being sarcastic or serious. But either way, I have to admit, making another build, even though it took me a while again, probably 30 minutes to an hour, was pretty fun. So this time I tried for a more strength / magic build. I mean, I hope I did from last I remember. Alright, Privateer's Hold, round 2. Here we go. So I guess instead of how modern games do it, where once you swing your weapon and if it hits the enemy's hitbox, it hits, this game uses a more traditional tabletop style where each swing is kind of like rolling a dice of whether or not your attack hits the enemy or not. And depending on the stats you increase can determine how often your swing hits or how much extra damage your weapon does. Like I said, I won't go into detail, but damn, this game just goes super in-depth for mechanics and features, and definitely confusing if you're going into this game super blind. Like for example, when we explored this dungeon, for the longest time I thought we had to find some healing potion or something to increase my health, or for some godly reason beat the dungeon one go without dying. Nope, you just rest, just like that, just rest it off. Got hurt badly? Rest it off. Stamina low? Rest it off. Magic low? Well, you get the picture. But granted, you still need to be in an area where there's no enemies nearby, of course. I remember after the stream asking online about the whole resting thing, if it was kind of overpowered or cheesing in a way. And I saw someone mentioning something along the lines of, at first I thought it was a bit RP unfriendly since the dungeon is full of hostile entities, but someone pointed out that with how big many of the dungeons are, it's not unrealistic to find a out of the way room for a few hours. Where someone also replied, back in the old pen and paper RPGs it was very common to sleep for days to recover hit points. It was completely normal to walk 20 feet, fight a goblin, and having spent 3 days in the middle of the corridor to recover. So I guess that makes sense, because this isn't a modern fast-paced RPG game. This is more of a slow medieval fantasy game with tabletop RPG elements. So onwards to exploring the Privateer's Hold, where we rest where it's fine, fight when getting attacked, and hope to god there isn't a dead end, and oh god damn it. Okay, well, I guess I better check the map. Oh dear god, what is that? What am I looking at? Welcome to the 3D map. And even though this is the Unity version, just thinking about how even the original vanilla game had a 3D map for every procedurally generated dungeon honestly blows my mind. I can't think of a game I've played recently that ever needed to give the player a 3D map. A 2D map with different layers for different floors? Sure, but a fully 3D map? Nothing really comes to mind. But it makes sense for how colossal these maze-like dungeons are. Like, I'm sure later on navigating using a 3D map will probably be a godsend for me, but for now, get me the hell out of this place. To be honest, navigating this dungeon isn't too bad. But then again, it's also just the first dungeon, so going up, down, left, right, side to side ain't too bad. However, I didn't expect there to be so many dead ends. By dead ends, I mean straight up doors that lead to 2-foot long rooms. And then other times you see anomalies or something on the map, like, what is that? It's like there should be a door on the map, but there is. Oh, sweet Jesus Christ! I heard the skeleton boy around there, but goddamn, if it wasn't for the map, I probably wouldn't have realized there was a hidden door there. Not like that would have changed anything, considering this walking pile of bone just broke the door open anyway. So it's nice the map isn't just a 3D map, but can help guide you to hidden paths and secret doors. So I guess I better be on the lookout for stuff like that. Okay, let's just turn here and oh hell yeah, freedom! Oh no, freedom, what the hell are those? And honestly, from here, I'm just completely blind. And I don't really know if any spawning randomly like that is part of the mod or a base game. Part of me just wants to believe the latter. Like, God, I have no idea. After a long, tedious, and totally in real-time hours and totally not sped up gameplay footage. Okay, legit though, this travel options mod is really cool. I think it's supposed to be similar to another mod called Tedious Travel, but more up to date with the current Unity version. It makes fast traveling pretty damn fun. Sure, I could just skip it all, go through a loading screen and appear wherever I need to go. Or I could just watch the character just walk all the way there in super speed. Or even in real time. Maybe stop by at places of interest whenever. But for now, we need to go to Daggerfall City. When we finally reach the city of Daggerfall, I guess we should probably find the castle and talk to the queen about this whole letter situation. And wow, that's a big map for a big ass town. Sure, it's all repeating assets of the same building outside, but yeah, big cities would most likely have so many buildings, homes, shops, and more. I guess I'm just used to other games where it's like usually 1 or 2 shops and 1 tavern, that's about it. So hopefully I don't get too lost in these towns. Fortunately, you can examine buildings and it updates on your map. So if there's somewhere I need to go, check the map, make sure it was examined, and we go. But for now, we'll just have to wait until next week to find the castle. Maybe talk to the queen, talk to someone, something, any kind of progress would be nice. Who knows, maybe we'll end up exploring more of the land and more dungeons. Hey, if you're still watching or just finished watching, then congrats on listening to my boring, weird thoughts. Plus, if you want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe. Or if you want to watch my playthroughs live, follow me on Twitch. Until then, have a wonderful day and or night, and I'll see y'all next time.